Out of all the shows that Cartoon Network has created that has grinded the gears of many cartoon fans for years, that one show that has managed to accomplish this was a little show by the name of Teen Titans Go. Dear God, where do I even begin with the series? I remember hearing about it some time back when it was first coming out, back around 2013 or so, from a few friends of mine that were rather stoked about the whole thing about there being a reboot to Teen Titans. To be fair, I wasn't exactly expecting this reboot to be that good, and once I watched my first and only episode, Waffles, my feeling about the show was only confirmed. It seemed as though Teen Titans Go was a show that not only spat in the faces of original Teen Titans and their fans, but also somehow managed to ruin everything in regards to Teen Titans. At least for me, that is. And let me tell you, that lasted for a very long time. Honestly, though, the constant showing of this fucked up cartoon show on Cartoon Network and the limited showing of other shows that were actually good, like Adventure Time, Steven Universe, We Bare Bears, Amazing World of Gumball, etc., basically just kind of made me hate the network with every fiber of my being. Hence the reason why I stopped watching the network for good a few years ago. It was only a year or so ago that I decided to go on ahead and give the network another chance. This was thankfully given to me by my best friend Molly, who would wind up telling me while we were eating lunch at school that the Adventure Time was ending, and that I had to kind of catch up with everything before I wound up missing the whole thing entirely. So, of course, I wound up doing that. During that time, I was waiting for the newer episodes of Adventure Time to come along, as well as watching older ones as well. And I decided that one day while I was watching TV, decided to give the show Teen Titans Go another little run through, just to see if it had improved at all. I mean, I know that plenty of shows out there started off relatively badly, but there have been plenty of them, like Uncle Grandpa for example, that's actually managed to, really improve well with the comedy and things like that, and actually become a really good episode. Needless to say, that wasn't the case with this show. I mean, I will be honest. There were a couple of episodes that I watched during that time that I thought were actually pretty good. But overall, though, they all just horribly sucked. And they sucked badly. In order to try and combat the sudden wave of stupidity and insanity that had burrowed itself into my brain like Kim Jong-un at a cheese factory, I decided to try and get my mind off of Teen Titans Go and search around online for a bunch of random shit. For the next 4 hours or so, I basically browsed around various websites like 4chan, YouTube, and even Tumblr. Only solely for the artwork, though. I don't really buy into the political spectrum of Tumblr. Then, out of the blue, I decided to check out Reddit to see if there were any new subreddits that had been created. Other than the Ask Reddit blog getting a whole lot of popularity, there really wasn't anything else that new including in the thing. I mean, well, that is until I wind up scrolling down a bit deeper on the Reddit board to find a group that I honestly should have expected to see. A Teen Titans Go hate page. It actually was what you would expect. People hating on Teen Titans Go for all the stupid shit that each episode contained, and how the show was officially ruined and other junk like that. Just for the sake of seeing everybody's thoughts on the show, even though it was more of an echo chamber of some sort since I pretty much held the same beliefs they all did, I started browsing around there for about another hour or so. It didn't take me too long to scroll through most of the comments, which basically had me starting to scroll back up for some reason. However, in my scrolling, I wound up stopping at a particular comment that stuck out a bit. It wasn't much of a rant, at least not for the most part, nor did it go in any kind of detail about the characters and such. Instead, it was a comment section about how Teen Titans Go was apparently going to start getting better soon, that it was going to ultimately improve, and the show was going to wind up turning itself into the regular Teen Titans relatively soon. And that we'd all have to be patient during this time because it was a long process. This was rather confusing to me, and the comments that had replied to this post only seemed to mimic the confusion that I was going through as well. Many of them even wind up asking for proof of this. Scrolling down the replies, I saw that there was a reply from the person that commented, basically saying that this was the proof that he had gotten, and below him was a link to a site on the Wayback Machine with a message from him to click on it quickly before it was taken down by one of the moderators, as apparently posting links to videos was not permitted on that subreddit. Not exactly using my brain at the time to think logically, I quickly clicked the damn link and was redirected to the archive page on the Wayback Machine from a video sharing website that honestly looked rather nice, and definitely looked a lot more polished up and more detailed than YouTube or VidMe, or even Vimeo. Since the site was archived, I couldn't exactly do too much other than click the small video screen that was smack dab in the middle of the page. To my surprise, the video actually played, although a part of me wished that it hadn't, as the theme song of Teen Titans Go started blaring into my eardrums, nearly making me bleed so much out of my ears that I was afraid I was going to bleed out. I wound up muting it after the first 5 seconds, wanting to spare myself from an ungodly death such as that. Once the song was done and over with, it then cut to show the outside view of the Titan Tower, with its overtly cartoonish and simple design pretty much in the background. The name of the episode faded in its usual text, with the background reading Raven's Destiny, along with the names of the producers, animators, and the like that every episode showed before the episode started off. The screen then transitioned over to show Raven on her bed, meditating on her bed, meditating in the dark, purple candles illuminating the scene. This went on for a good few seconds, and as I was just sitting there anticipating either Beast Boy or any of the others to come crashing into our room, doing something particularly stupid as they usually did, I was thankfully surprised to my delight that that didn't happen. Raven simply continued to meditate as the camera slowly panned into her face. She then started up her chanting of Azarath Metrio Zinthos, quietly and with much deep concentration. It's at this point, the various clips of Raven and her father started to flash quickly on the screen, with Raven's face cringing as each clip went by. However, despite the distractions, she continued to chant in the same mantra with as much clarity as she could give. That is until a faded clip of Trigon's face slowly but surely started staring right at Raven. Started staring right at Raven from the right side. Trigon simply stared at her, and then he said in a faded tone, "You and I both know that you cannot escape your fate, Raven. No matter how many times you chant, no matter how often you fight it, you will reign by my side soon." Trigon then laughs menacingly, which immediately snaps Raven out of her trance. She falls off the bed in a panic while the candles that have been lit immediately go out, leaving the room in darkness. It's then that Starfire enters the room, with a concerned look on her face as she turns on the lights. "Raven, are you okay? You have fallen, and I heard you yell," Starfire said in a warm passion as she goes up to help Raven. "Thank you, Starfire, but I'm fine. Just got a little distracted, that's all," Raven said, getting up. Starfire's expression then fell a bit, as if she knew that what Raven was saying wasn't true at all. "Raven, I do not mean to be the prior, but you have been rather, how do they say it, like a hermit these past few days. The others are worried about you, Raven. Are you sure that you are okay?" Starfire asked. Raven, now slightly annoyed, says to Starfire in a rather angry tone, "Yes, I'm fine, Starfire. Now leave me alone. I need to get back to my meditation." Raven simply levitates back to her bed, and the scene cuts back to Starfire, who simply sighs and then makes her way out of the room without another word being said. As the door closes, Raven then closes her eyes once more, and then begins to chant her mantra again, with the candles slowly relighting themselves in the process. The scene then cuts back to show Starfire making her way into the living room of the Titan Tower, with Beast Boy, Robin, and Cyborg all sitting down on the couch watching television. That is, until Starfire sits down right next to them. "Hey, Star, what's up?" Cyborg asked. "Oh, nothing being much," Starfire said, rather forlorn. "Hey, what's up, Starfire?" Robin asked as he turned the television off. "Well, dear friends, I've spoken with Raven again, and she's still cooped up into her bedroom," Starfire said. "Again? She really seems to love that room recently," Cyborg said, scratching his chin. I wonder what's going on with her, Beast Boy began. Maybe if I go in and talk with her, maybe she might loosen up a little bit and come out, Beast Boy said in a rather suave kind of way, as he rubbed his hair back in a handsome kind of manner. Just as Beast Boy was about to make his way over towards the hallway, Robin immediately got out his grappling hook and then proceeded to shoot it towards Beast Boy, which in turn tied itself around him and pushed him back into the living room. Sorry, Beast Boy, but I don't think that Raven needs that kind of attention at the moment, Robin began. Just best to let her do her thing for a while. If it doesn't loosen up, then we'll consider discussing talking with her. Beast Boy simply frowned, but nodded his head in agreement. The others then began discussing about what could be the issue with Raven. A few of them suggested that it might have just been Raven's time of the month, a rather adult joke, while Starfire and Robin dismissed that theory immediately and suggested it might have had to do something with their birthday that was coming up. Oh yeah, Raven's birthday's coming up, Beast Boy said aloud. Oh man, I got such a wonderful present for... Beast Boy was instantly silent, with Robin slapping a Batman logo sticker on his mouth to silence him. No, Beast Boy. There's not going to be a party, there's not going to be gifts, there's not going to be any of that. Raven specifically told us to not have any of that this year, Robin said. I agree. It would be most wrong for us to celebrate the day of her birth if she does not wish it, Starfire said. Aww, Beast Boy said through the sticker, which he ripped off rather painfully. After that scene, the episode would then cut to show Raven by her bedside once again, and the series of Beast Boy trying to wish her a happy birthday and hand her a gift would pretty much go on in little comedic takes during parts of the episode, where he would try and sneak into her room and, well, give her the gift. All of which were spoiled when the other Titans caught him doing what he was doing, or was in the process of doing what he was doing, and thus would stop him. This went on for a good portion of the episode. However, up until around close to the end was when things got a little odd. The scene still showed Raven in her room meditating, saying her usual mantra over and over and over again. That is until a flash of Raven's eyes, when she goes into demon mode, covered the screen, which in turn caused Raven to gasp her head in pain, letting out a scream, the voice of Trega saying in the background, "Come to me, my child. Your time has now come. Arise from your bed and come to me now." Raven continued to writhe in her bed as she screamed louder. Soon she fell off the bed limp, but at nearly the same time she stood up, her hood covering the majority of her face as it tended to do often, but her eyes were replaced with the 4 red eyes the show normally used on the show. She then spoke, "As you desire, Father." She then used her magic to open up a large black portal, which covered the majority of the wall in her room. Once it was summoned, she slowly entered it. It's at this point that Beast Boy, along with the others, burst into her room, with Beast Boy singing the happy birthday song in the process while holding out a present, while the others tried to hold him back. However, just as quickly as they did that, they all immediately looked up and noticed that Raven was making her way into the portal, to which they all stared for a bit before immediately running towards her. Once they had all entered into the portal, the scene then faded in to show the home of Trega, Raven's father, with Raven already making her way towards the edge of the large cliff. Robin immediately had the Titans follow after her, ready to strike if anything were to happen. Almost as if on cue, when Raven made her way to the cliff and began to call out to her father, he appeared. Now, he didn't exactly appear in his usual goofy style that the show had made for him. However, he certainly did look like the same character from the original Teen Titans, just in the same kind of art style as Teen Titans Go. "So, my daughter, you've come to make your decision?" Trega asked. "Yes, Father. My time has now come, and I'm here to... Raven began to shake uncontrollably, and then soon fell to the ground and screamed once more. "No! No! I'll never become you!" Raven yelled as her eyes transformed back to their usual way, with it turning into the pure white color as it usually did. This immediately triggered the rest of the Teen Titans to go and start battling with Trega, which was honestly rather action-packed in the long run. Pretty damn good, if you ask me. Raven as well fought by their side, and it seemed as though they thought they were finally going to defeat Trega, until Raven's migraine started coming back again, which caused her to fall right down the ground with a heavy thud. "Raven!" Starfire yelled out as she made her way towards her fallen friend. Get, get out of here! Raven said in between spasms. "We are not leaving you here, Raven," Starfire said. I said you need to leave! Raven screamed before her eyes returned to its full red demonic form. It didn't take long for Raven to start fighting the other Titans, which Trago joined on in. Soon, after a long, lengthy battle, they were all defeated, and lying on the ground in a mixture of agony and pain. Raven and her father then began to start forming a very large magical orb, apparently to destroy the rest of the Titans. However, just as Trago was about to unleash his fury, Raven immediately came to her senses and stopped what she was doing. However, it was shown that Trago had already had enough energy to destroy them, so she immediately pulled out a portal which opens up behind the defeated group. Raven then stands next to them and puts up a force field, and then proceeds to yell at all of them to leave immediately. Beast Boy tries to object, asking what about her, but Raven simply dismisses this and yells at them all to leave again. Beast Boy isn't compliant and holds on to her hood, begging and pleading with her to go with them. Meanwhile, Trago's power had already started hitting the force field, and it was already confirmed that the force field would not last very long as it started cracking in numerous places. You can't leave us, Raven! You can't leave me! I'm not gonna live. I won't be able to live with myself if you die, Beast Boy said as tears formed in his eyes. Raven immediately stared down at him and smiled, before quickly pulling him in and giving him a soft kiss. You aren't gonna lose me, Beast Boy. I'll always be with you guys. Now please, you need to go, Raven said. And with that, she immediately kicked Beast Boy into the portal, before Trago's magic vaporized the field, and thus completely and utterly consuming his daughter, vaporizing her into practically nothing, with the only thing left of her being the cape that went into the portal as it slowly closed. The scene then cut back to show all the Titans exiting the portal, as well as a tattered and ruined blue cape following it. The portal then proceeded to close almost immediately, leaving the other Titans in Raven's room. Beast Boy, at this point, started going hysterical, screaming and crying as he tried to make his way to the now empty portal. No! I'm not gonna let you die, Raven! Beast Boy yelled as he transformed into various animals to try and unsuccessfully open the portal back up, even going so far to try and read an incantation from one of Raven's books. However, all was unsuccessful, and in the end he just knelt there on the floor, crying his eyes out as he clutched the torn cloak to himself. He attempted to make one last move, but was stopped when Cyborg placed a hand on Beast Boy's shoulder. With teary eyes, Beast Boy looked up at his robotic friend, who simply looked down and said somberly, Beast Boy, there's nothing you can do. She's gone. No, she can't be gone. I was supposed to give her her birthday present. I was supposed to throw her a birthday party. I was supposed to tell her how I felt about her. I was supposed to show her how much she meant to me. Beast Boy simply fell to the ground and broke down into another floodgate of tears. The others immediately went to him slowly, and then proceeded to hold him tightly, doing everything that they could to comfort him. The scene then faded out, and then back to the one last scene. A small monument of Raven in stone was in front of the Titan's tower. Robin immediately placed a plaque next to it, and that read, Raven, forever a Teen Titan, now until the very end. And with that, the scene cut to black, and the episode ended. I will admit, I was rather shocked at how well made that episode was. Honestly, that entire thing seemed more like an episode that would originally air on Teen Titans, not Teen Titans Go. Yet, no matter how I placed it, I knew for a fact it was an episode from Teen Titans Go. Unfortunately for me, though, I wound up, instead of being able to save the episode, although thinking about it now, I doubt that I would have been able to do that either way, especially with it being on the Wayback Machine. I wound up accidentally clicking off of it instead of saving the link. How I did that, I don't know. I've tried looking for the link again to find it, but unfortunately, though, it seems as though the Redditor, whoever he or she was that had posted the link, was certainly right when I wound up going back there, because his entire account had already been banned. So even as of now, I don't have the link. I don't know if I'll ever be able to pull it back up again. It sucks too. There was a lot of amazing things within that episode. Although then again though, maybe it might have gotten me in trouble if I actually did show anything of it. I know how powerful these people, I know how protective these people are with their icons. But I still have many questions about this. Why exactly would an episode like this that was so well made, of a show that really wasn't that good to begin with, get lost in such... would get lost like that? I mean, what was the whole point of it? Was it because it was too mature or something? That it didn't exactly fit with the Teen Titans Go narrative? I mean, I could think of, plenty of people who would enjoy an episode like this. Or then again, maybe it might be the reason for the fact that, well, Raven was killed off. I don't know why they'd make it like that, but still. Maybe if they did that kind of thing, it would ultimately destroy the profits that Cartoon Network was getting from Teen Titans Go. And of course, the one thing you never, ever mess with a corporation is their money. So in the end, it only seems normal, more or less, to understand why exactly this episode never really aired. Even then, though, still a really good episode. Hopefully one day I can find it again and share it with every one of you.
In fear and surprise as your eyes widen, your mouth goes dry with each battered breath. You try to scream, your mind begs to leave, glued to your computer screen. The killers they slash, the tapes burn and crash. The cartridge you bought will be your final haunt. The rituals of hate will seal your fate. The tears you shed will be from the fear-gripping horror-driven nightmarish gore-filled, terrorizing, hateful, burning, violent, rage-inducing, knife-slashing, blood-splattering, silent screams. Only time will tell if you will escape this online hell. Your horror-filled obsessions will come with its own regressions. Your pathetic screams will not be heeded in any way, because your nightmares will come at any day.